I would like to quickly discuss pronoun awkwardness and anxiety. A few different situations. The first, I guess, I'll talk about is the earliest form when I first came out and having people switch pronouns, in particular my family, and even more sectioned off my parents. Um, when I first asked people to change pronouns, it was very awkward and forced and uncomfortable because I felt like they were doing it because I asked them to, not because they saw me as male, which made me feel worse about myself because um, I could feel that forced, like he, when they would say it, and it would make me very upset, which is surprising because when I came out, I wanted it to change, and I wanted you know them to use male pronouns, but along with that, you want them to see you as a guy. And I knew that that wasn't happening, that they were only using male pronouns because I wanted them to, and I asked them to, not because they saw me how I wanted to be seen. That's changed now. So it's not awkward like that anymore, but definitely the first few months of them using male pronouns was very uncomfortable and very depressing to me because I could tell that they didn't mean it. Um, and you could like hear it in their voice and see it in the way that they were conversing with me or about me that they were very awkward and it was very forced and strained on their part. And I don't blame them. I mean, it's not their fault, but it just made me uncomfortable and really upset, um, which I wasn't expecting when I was thinking about coming out and asking people to change pronouns. But it did happen, uh, and I also feel kind of guilty about it sometimes because I know that there are a lot of people who would love for their parents to use male pronouns for them, and at the time I felt really like shitty about myself because I'm like I have my parents using male pronouns for me, but it doesn't feel right because they're forcing it. Um, so that's something I just wanted to mention, uh, along with like anxiety and issues with pronouns and stuff, just like forcing that happens now is when I come out to people, adults in particular. I don't know what it is, but if I tell people I'm trans, all of a sudden they get really confused and they start using female pronouns for me, like by mistake, and it really pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie, and I just it's mostly teachers and stuff, and like family members of like friends. Um, I don't know what it is, but like they perceive me as male, and then I come out to them for whatever reason. I do a lot of work with my school around trans stuff, so I'm on like committees and things at school. So I tell people so that we can work on making my school more trans friendly. And but there are just some teachers that can't handle it, and I don't know why. Like they're not rude about it, but it just like and like adults and stuff that you tell them, and all of a sudden they start calling you miss and like using female pronouns, and then going, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm a little confused," and I'm like, "Okay." Like 2 days ago, before I told you you were using male pronouns for me, and you didn't even know, and then I tell you I'm trans and I'm a guy, but I'm a trans guy, and all of a sudden you can't use male pronouns. It doesn't make any sense to me, and it really causes me a lot of stress and anxiety around it because I just feel like, why would I tell people if this is the response I'm going to get? Because if I'm perceived as male 100% of the time, and then I tell people I'm trans, and all of a sudden they're messing up pronouns, like because they're confused. I don't understand it. Um, so it kind of really makes me angry because at that point it's like, why should I try and do anything if all I'm going to get is that response that really hurts me. Like, as much as I'd like to say it doesn't, it really does affect me, because I go like, well, now you don't see me as a guy, and I can tell because of what you're saying to me and how you're saying it, and it just, that really bugs me. And then just quickly, another anxiety issue I have around pronouns is when I go to LGBT events. Now, I've never been misgendered at a LGBT event ever, but there's always that anxiety that when I go to a group or I go to a conference or anything like that, that I'll be perceived as female, and I'm always terrified of that. But it's never happened, thankfully. Uh, but there is that underlying anxiety that I'm going to be perceived as like a lesbian or something, and it just, that freaks me out. So I get very nervous about that, but it's never proved to be an issue. It's just something that I'm really worried about for apparently no reason. But yeah, I just wanted to discuss that a little bit, because it's stuff that, I went through in the past and still go through now, and thought it was worth discussing. So thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, questions, video topics. That would be nice. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.